Hi everyone, Janie here and welcome to the Christmas in July YouTube video hop that has been organized by my friend Monica Taylor, who happens to be a wonderful crafter here on YouTube. And not only that, she has her own store called Taylor Made Cards for You. And I'm going to have links below to her YouTube channel, her store, and her blog. So you can find out all about her and see everything she has to offer because she's someone great that you should know. And also in the description box below at the very top, you're going to find a link to the next person in line so that you don't miss anything. So just click on that when you're done with my video and you'll be hopping on to the next person. So some of us are going to be giving away prizes on our channel. So you need to watch each video and listen carefully to find out if they're giving away a prize and what that prize is. And to be eligible for these prizes, you need to comment and you need to be a subscriber. And I'm not going to tell you about my prize right now. You're going to have to wait a little bit further in the video because I just want to get started with my card. So let's head on over to the craft table.
I'm going to be making a shaker Christmas card, and I have decided this month to use as many of my scraps as I can on my projects because I have tons of scraps, and I know we all do. So I'm going to start off with this, which was left over from another video I had done where I was creating a background with distress ink and distress oxides and a little water splatters, and I decided to add some little white dots to represent snow. I did that with a white gel pen. So I'm going to be using that. I'm going to be using an A2 size card base, so it's 5.5 by 4 1/4. And as you can see, this perfectly fits with a border around it, but it's not going to be seen, so it doesn't matter because this is what's going to go over the top. So this has already been cut to fit perfectly over the top, as I do with a lot of my scraps. I try to cut them down to this size or this size. And I'm going to be cutting the shaker window out of this piece using this oval scalloped die. And then that will go over the top of this, which will be on the top of the card. And I'm also going to be making a tag or two. So I'm going to be using these blue scraps, and I'm going to be using this tag die with a little snowflake on it. And this came from a set I got from BB Craft, and I'll put a link below to that. But it is a set in this nice little storage box that I absolutely love. And there's a set of 6. So I've already showed these before, but I'll show them again. Some of them are stitched, some of them are not. And you see that there's 2 Christmas trees in here. There was actually supposed to be a different heart die. And BB Craft is so easy. I sent them a picture of it, and they're going to be sending me out a replacement set so that I'll have all the dies. So just know if there's ever a problem, BB Craft is really good about taking care of things. I really, really like them. So I'm going to be using this die, and of course the snowflake will be cut out, so it's going to need something behind it. And so I have these scraps here, and I was going to use these because I'm going to need to put a little hill of snow across the front. I'm going to cut out some snowflakes plus do the back of the tag, and I thought this was perfect. It's kind of an off-white. It's not exactly white, but then I found this piece and I thought, this one is white. But then I realized it's more of a silver. So I have a decision to make, and I wish you were all here to help me make this decision. But those beautiful papers came from this paper pad that I used last month that I got from Create for Less. And let me see if I can show you. It has a lot of really pretty pastel colors in it that I absolutely love, and they're pearlized. So I'm going to decide as I go along which one looks better, which one of these colors looks better. But I like them both. And I'm also going to be using this cute little 3D image from Sherry Baldy. This is one of her 3D besties. And so it comes with all these different layers that you can cut out and then layer on with, like like some 3D foam tape or something. I had these other little 3D dots that I used, but I wanted you to see this because I cut this out using my Cricut Explorer and Design Space, of course, and I used the print and cut feature. So this was print and cut, and I wanted you to see, look at that skinny little pole. I hope you can really see that. This cut out so beautifully. I mean, I couldn't have done that by hand. So this is just an awesome thing about the Cricut Explorer that I absolutely love. And I've had this in a little stash box that I have of other little images. So this is probably from a couple years ago, but I thought it was going to be perfect for this Christmas card. So I'm going to be using that. And of course, some sequins and maybe these little snowflakes, or maybe I'll cut out some of my own. So that's what I'm going to be using. Let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is my die cutting, and I already have my die on my piece of paper there and use a little washi tape to hold it down. And we're going to run this right through here, just like that. And I'll just roll it back through to make it easier to get out here on camera. So let's get that out. Now, I'm not going to throw this piece away because I'm going to be using it for a couple of different things. So I'm going to set that aside. And the front of my card is ready to go. And I'm going to set that aside. And now I'm going to be die cutting my little tags, and then I'm going to be cutting the backs for them. So I'm not going to bore you with that because it's the same thing. I decided to use the kind of a silvery white pearly cardstock for the background, and I used a spray adhesive on the back of the tags and adhered them to this other cardstock. And now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut out around them. The tags have been cut out. I got my little hole punch and punched the hole so it went all the way through, because obviously the back one didn't have a hole in it. And I just love the pretty pearly shimmer on these. Don't know if you can see that really good on camera, but it just looks so nice with the little snowflakes showing through. So anyways, what I'm going to do right now is, probably won't show up on this one too much, but on this light blue one, I want to go around the edges with some ink. I am using chipped sapphire, and I just kind of wanted to give it a little depth there by inking around the edges. So there we go. And this one I can ink around the edges just to try to hide the white edge. So by doing that, the white edge just goes away, even though it doesn't show up on the front so much, but that's okay. I think it's perfect. I don't even know if I'm using both of these, but I have them both ready to go. So I brought in my mat so the white card wouldn't, disappear into my white desktop here. And making sure that it's opening the correct way, I am going to adhere this on the front. Okay, so now I need to line things up on here. And I need to know exactly where my shaker area is going to be, and I'm going to show you how I do that. This part that I cut out, I'm going to slide it right back in there. Only I'm going to put a piece of washi tape on the back so that it stays in place. Actually, I probably put a couple of pieces of washi tape on the back. And I'm going to be removing it later. So for right now, it's just a way to hold it in place. So get everything right where it needs to be. And with that down, I am removing this. So what I'm doing, the reason I put this here is because now I know where to put my double-sided foam tape for the shaker. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to get the tape out here, grab my scissors. I'm going to cut off a piece, and then I'm going to cut it in half. And if you can't get it exactly down the middle, it's not the end of the world, trust me. Okay, so for my little trick of going around circles, you've seen me do it before. I just snip every once in a while. Not all the way across, just maybe halfway across. And don't snip your fingers, please. Be careful with that. Okay, so now, as you can see, I did all those snips. We want the snip to be on the outside edge because that's what's going to make it easy to go around. See how easy that made it? So it just curves. I can go all the way around this just by snipping those. It makes it easy to, to bend the double-sided foam tape. So I'm going to do that again, but I'm not going to make you, watch through the whole thing. I'm going to peel off this layer. And again, with the cut part on the outside, I'm going to go right over the top of this, all the way around, because I wanted it double thick. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing all the way around this, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my adhesive foam tape down in a double layer. There are no gaps for any of the sequins to sneak out of. And now I can remove my little guide that I had. There we go. So the next thing I need to do is put my acetate on the back side of this. And I still have the protective layer on here for the moment, but I was going to show you that this is what I use for my acetate. It's an acetate alternative, and it is called Duralar, and it comes in different thicknesses, and you can use any thickness you want, but this is what I use. And so I'm going to flip this over. I actually cut this to the same size. I normally don't do that, but there isn't much room, to attach it. It really does need to go all the way out. So I'm going to grab my double-sided tape, add that all the way around the edges, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got all my double-sided tape on there. And if you wonder why I always, stop the camera to do this, it's because I really don't want to bore you guys watching me put on tape. You all know how to put on tape, so that's why. And also, while I was off camera, I added some more foam tape in the corners just to give it a little bit more stability. So now it's time to take off this tape and put the acetate on there. So I'm actually going to leave it on here so I don't lose it until I use it. So I probably should have taken the tape off because you all don't want to see that either. But no problem. I'll just talk to you. So, are you guys all getting your Christmas cards ready early? It doesn't hurt because, if you wait till the last minute, then it's like, oh my gosh, I have all of these Christmas cards to do. So this Christmas in July thing is actually pretty fun, kind of get you guys, I don't know, in the mood for Christmas, in the mood to start making some Christmas cards. So I hope that this little Christmas in July hop helps you do that, because there are so many wonderful things you're going to be seeing today, in this hop. Everybody has wonderful creations, and I know that they will all inspire you. Okay, it looks like I got all of those off. So now I will take this off from its little white backing, because I don't have to worry about it disappearing now. All I have to worry about now is actually getting it on here straight. But the good news is, if there's any overhang, that's what scissors are good for. So I'm not really worried about it. Okay, now that I have the acetate on there and I have the foam tape on here, I'm grabbing my little handy dandy fabric softener sheet and giving it a good rubbing over the back of my acetate, and also on the inside of my shaker area here, right up against the adhesive foam tape, to make sure that there's nothing sticky. And now we are ready to add the little shaker elements. And so I've got some little white sequins and some little silver sequins, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to add. So let me put some of these in here. Come on. Ooh, and they go flying. And actually, these particular sequins, probably shouldn't have used them. They drive me a little bit crazy. They actually have static electricity all on their own. But put a little of those in there. And they actually have some silver ones in there too. This was a cool little, little sequin blend there. But I think I'll add a few more silver ones here. Put some of these out and add those in there. And you know what? I think that's really all I want to add. Maybe, oh, I don't know. I'm so torn. Maybe a little bit more. Let me grab some different white sequins. Let's try these. So I don't remember where I got them from, but there's a nice little variety in here. So I'll open that up and we'll grab some of these white ones and some of these little clear ones, little iridescent things. Add a few of those and a few of these. Okay, so maybe I have enough in there. I might just be going crazy here and putting way too many in. So I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. Okay, so we have a nice amount in there. And now it's time to carefully pull off the backing on this tape. And you want to be careful so that the sequins kind of don't all pop together and pop out as you're bouncing around. I'm going to try to shove them all into the middle here. Okay, I've got the tape all pulled off. And now I just have to place this over the top. And because I'm going to have to stick my head over it, I think I'm going to put this on off camera just to make sure I get it just right. Okay, now I've got the top on my shaker, and the next thing I'm going to do is make a little snowy hill to go across the bottom. And so I'm going to use the same kind of a silvery pearly white cardstock that I used making the tags. And so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to guess. I may have to make some changes, but I'm just going to start cutting. This cardstock is really thick, but I love that about it. Okay, let me get an idea here how that looks. I think that looks good. And then let me turn this one around. And I think I'll add that one on that side so that there are 2 layers. And you know what? I might just ink that just a tiny bit. Let me go grab some ink. I wasn't sure what color, but I think I'm going to go with iced spruce.
I'm just going to speed this up here a little bit for you. So what I'm doing here is just inking the edges to give it a little depth and definition. I really like using my Beacon 3-in-1 glue to adhere things because it allows me just enough time for a little wiggle room to make sure that something is on straight, but yet it has a really fast tack. So once it's on there, it's on there.
There we go. What do you think? Now, I know it looks like the shaker things are all hidden down below the snow, so maybe I shouldn't have put the snow up so high, but the cool thing is you can still see it when you shake it, right? Sometimes it's hard to know how much to put in a shaker, and sometimes, like I said, I should have cut this down a little bit lower, but what's done is done, and I still like it. So I am going to be putting this little cutie right on there, and I'm thinking, well, she already has so much dimension, and she's already on something that has popped up, so I think I'm just going to glue her down right there. So let me put a little glue right back here on the bottom half of her, down here on her legs. Okay. And just put her right there. Right there. Absolutely perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So there we go with that. And now I just have to decide on a sentiment and which tag. I'm going to stick it right up there in the corner. Which one do you like better? I know, right? It's a tough decision. This one kind of blends in, but the edges are inked. Well, I am going to go stamp it and surprise you. So I'll be right back. Well, here it is, finished. And surprise, I used both tags. And do you want to know why I used both tags? Because somebody out there in YouTube land was saying, use both tags, and I listened to you. So whoever you are, you know who you are, and you know I listened. So there we go, our Shaker Christmas card. And I wished I could have found Merry Christmas small enough to fit on there, but I had that Happy Holidays, so that is what I used on that tag. But I'm not exactly done. So I'm going to grab some pieces here. So this was the leftover piece that we cut out for the shaker. And I had another piece of that same silver white cardstock that I used here. And it was just the right size to cut that out. So I can put a sentiment on there. And I don't know what it is yet, but I can put that on there and put that on there. And then I have these leftover snowflakes. And this, let me open this up, we'll put it in this way. This will be perfect for the inside. So nothing is going to go to waste, and I used my scraps. So I hope this inspires you to use some of your scraps and start making some Christmas cards.
Okay, now I'm going to tell you about the prize that I'm giving away. I will be giving away this stamp set, which is from Close to My Heart. I used to sell Close to My Heart, and this was a stamp of the month. And that means it was only sold for 1 month, and you can no longer purchase this stamp. So that kind of makes it a collector's item. And it is brand new, and it is just a wonderful, wonderful Christmas stamp set. I like it a lot. Anyway, I have my own. And all you have to do to win that is leave a comment below and tell me your favorite thing about Christmas, and also be a subscriber. And I have to be able to see that you're a subscriber, so don't forget to do that too. So also below, you'll find a link at the top of my description box to the next person in this hop, so that you can keep hopping along with us. So happy crafting, everyone, and enjoy the hop. Bye-bye.